Since the early days of the EU, education and training have played an important role for the developments in Europe. High youth unemployment and a difficult economic climate at the beginning of the 1970s paved the way for CEDEFOP. CEDEFOP was set up in 1975 to develop and coordinate research in the field. CEDEFOP has made a strong contribution to developing the EU coordination of vocational training and the European qualifications framework. When the Berlin Wall fell in 1989, President Mitterrand and Chancellor Kohl coined the idea of a European Training Foundation to support the reforms of vocational education and training in Central and Eastern Europe. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, these countries faced considerable challenges in the transition from a plan economy to a market economy and democracy. Therefore, the ETF was established as a helping hand of friendship and as a support to a veritable economic and cultural revolution. Becoming operational in 1994, firstly in Poland and Hungary, ETF soon directed towards the other Central and European countries. After years of authoritarian regimes, the need for initial and continuing vocational education and training was strong. CEDEFOP specialized in research and analysis within the EU and coordinating with the member states to not lose momentum in the integration process within the EU. The ETF interacts directly with the new neighboring countries and their ministries on projects and reform of education and labor market systems, and so it was decided to have two separate agencies with different expertise. In 1996, the ETF was asked to enlarge its activities to the emerging countries on the Western Balkans after the collapse of the Yugoslav Republic, and in 1998, the countries of the Mediterranean region were also included in the ETF portfolio. A structured procedure for handover of the country files was successfully organized, and by the EU enlargements in 2004 and 2007, the 12 new member states were smoothly transferred from the ETF responsibility and incorporated into CEDEFOP. Despite the significant differences, CEDEFOP and ETF have always ensured close cooperation and exchange of information. In particular, the ETF has used examples of good practice in the EU as inspiration for the countries in the East. The cooperation between ETF and CEDEFOP also proved to be efficient during the EU's preparations for enlargement. Today, both agencies have achieved unique positions in their respective fields of competencies. CEDEFOP, as a centre of expertise in research and analysis of vocational education and training within the EU, and the ETF as the only EU agency working on human capital development within the EU external policies in countries around the EU borders.